LIV Golf CEO went on television this week and confirmed that the league's funding is secured only through the end of 2026. After that, in his own words, he has to work like crazy to keep it going. Then, someone deleted the interview. It was posted online and then pulled from social media. Gone, as if the words had not been said on camera by the man running the organization, as if players, agents, sponsors, and broadcasters had not already seen it. And in the middle of all of that, while the Financial Times and the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times were all reporting that Saudi Arabia's public investment fund is preparing to stop funding LIV Golf entirely, Jon Rahm was in Mexico City building a wire-to-wire lead, shooting a final round 7 under 64 without a single bogey and winning by 6 shots in one of the most dominant performances the league has ever seen. He played some of the best golf of his life this week. And the questions he was asked after every round were not about his ball striking, they were about whether the league he gave up everything to join is going to exist in 12 months.
That contrast, peak performance inside a crumbling institution, is what this story is actually about. Subscribe right now and hit the bell. This is the most important unresolved situation in professional golf, and this channel covers it at the depth it deserves. Let us start with what the reporting actually says, because the scale of what is being described this week goes beyond the usual LIV funding speculation. 4 major news organizations, the Financial Times, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and The Athletic, all independently reported in the same window that the PIF is preparing to exit LIV Golf after this season. The league's UK entity alone lost $461 million in 2024, $395 million in 2023, and $243 million in the 18 months before that. More than $1 billion in documented losses from one entity. Monthly net spend runs at approximately $100 million across the whole operation. The same week those reports dropped, the PIF released its new 5-year domestic investment strategy. Golf was not mentioned once, not a word. On the same day the financial press said the league was collapsing, the organization funding it published its vision for the next 5 years and left golf out entirely.
Then the CEO gave a TV interview confirming funding only runs through this season. Then someone deleted it. That sequence, 4 major outlets, PIF silence, deleted interview, executives described by The Athletic as searching for life rafts, is not a rumor cycle. That is an organization whose communications have broken down because the people making them are not sure what comes next themselves. Now here is the detail almost nobody is reporting properly. Golf writer Alan Shipnuck has reported that Mohammed bin Salman is actively exploring whether the ongoing conflict involving Iran can be used as a force majeure mechanism to exit LIV's player contracts entirely. Not reduce them, not renegotiate them, exit them. The man who signed Rahm's contract is reportedly looking at whether a geopolitical conflict gives him the legal right to stop honoring it. Sit with that. Then we will talk about where Rahm goes from here. When reporters asked Rahm about the collapse reports after his first round, his answer was composed. He said that until the people in charge told him whether the rumors were true, it did not make sense to think about it. He said everything happened so fast that normally before rumors start, someone inside the league already knows something. He said it moved too quickly for that, so he was not worried. That answer sounds reassuring until you read what it is actually saying. Rahm's logic is that he was not concerned because the news moved faster than internal knowledge could spread, which means nobody inside LIV saw this coming either. The players did not know. The CEO gave an interview confirming the funding situation, and then someone deleted it. The face of the franchise was learning about the potential collapse of his employer the same way the rest of us were, through news alerts and panicked messages from people outside the organization. That is not stability. That is an organization where information flow has broken down completely. And Rahm is waiting for clarity that may arrive in a form he is not prepared for.
Here is the part that goes beyond contracts and prize money, the part that is genuinely difficult to watch. Rahm is 31 years old. He is at or near the absolute peak of his powers.
The version of him in Mexico City this week, gaining over 10 strokes on approach, leading wire to wire, pulling away on Sunday without a single mistake. That player belongs on the biggest stages the sport has: the Masters, the US Open, the Open Championship. He tied 38th at Augusta this year. The schedule he is operating on does not serve the golfer he is capable of being, and the institution around that schedule is cracking in real time. But the competitive calendar is not even the deepest cost. Rahm's Ryder Cup eligibility for 2027 runs through the DP World Tour. At Augusta last week, he was described as defiant, showing no signs of bending in his dispute with the European circuit over reinstatement. Defiant. While the league he is defending is searching for life rafts. The Ryder Cup is not a prize money conversation. No contract clause replaces what it means to represent your country in the biggest team events in golf. It is legacy. It is the room you are in at 60 years old when you are telling the story of your career. Rahm has won the Masters. He has won the US Open. He knows what those rooms feel like. And he is watching the Ryder Cup room go quiet, week by week, while he waits for the people in charge to tell him something concrete.
There was a door. A real, structured, defined door back to the PGA Tour. Earlier this year, Commissioner Brian Rowlap created a specific pathway for 4 players, LIV members who had won a major or the Players' Championship since 2022. Rahm qualified, so did DeChambeau, so did Cameron Smith, so did Brooks Koepka. Koepka paid the price, $5 million to charity, forfeited FedEx Cup bonuses, no access to sponsor exemptions worth $20 million, no equity in the tour's for-profit enterprise for 5 years. He accepted every term and walked through in January before the February deadline closed. Rahm said no, DeChambeau said no, Smith said no. In January, with LIV fully funded and contracts secure, that calculation made sense. There was no urgency. The league appeared stable. The world looks completely different now. Rowlap went on television this week and said the PGA Tour is thinking about what comes next for players still in LIV. Not building a pathway, not offering terms, thinking about it. Any new program is not imminent. The door Rahm walked past in January is closed. What replaces it will require negotiation that has not started, in a context that grows more complicated for Rahm with every week that passes. And whatever pathway back exists, it will not be simpler than what Koepka accepted. It may be significantly harder. So here is where everything sits.
Jon Rahm is the best golfer in the LIV field right now. His performance in Mexico City was not just a win, it was a statement about what he is capable of at 31. 6 shots, wire to wire, not a single bogey on Sunday. And around that performance, the CEO gave a deleted interview confirming funding ends this year. Executives are searching for life rafts. The PIF published a 5-year strategy without mentioning golf. A geopolitical conflict is being explored as a legal mechanism to exit the contracts that were supposed to define his financial future. And the pathway back to the tour he left is closed, replaced by something still being thought about by a commissioner reading the same headlines as everyone else. Koepka understood the moment in January. He calculated the cost, paid it, and walked through before the door closed. The question of where Jon Rahm plays golf in 2027 is completely open. It is the most important unresolved question in professional golf. And Sunday's 6-shot win, dominant, clean, exceptional, did nothing to answer it. You can play the best golf of your life and still have no idea what comes next. Drop a comment right now. If LIV folds after 2026, does the PGA Tour make it straightforward for Rahm to return, or does he pay a price steeper than Koepka? That question is where everything in professional golf is heading. Subscribe if you want to follow this story at the depth it deserves. Share this with anyone tracking the LIV situation. See you when the next development breaks.